Vince, what's your reaction to today's budget?
Well, it didn't introduce any clarity at all, didn't take us further forward. There was no honesty about the cuts that we all know are coming in public spending. Didn't deal with the fundamental unfairness in the tax system. The only interesting announcement was a new tax treaty with Belize. But in terms of the detail, I mean, the really important thing is that we know, the public know, and also our external creditors know, how this enormous public sector borrowing is going to be reduced in the next few years. The amount that has to be borrowed is slightly less than it was before, which is moderately good news, but very little difference. The big question is how you do it, not just announcing more hopeful targets. The Lib Dems have been very forthright in setting out 15 billion of cuts in very specific areas. Nick Clegg listed them again this afternoon. None of our competitors have done anything of the kind. The government completely avoided the whole question. The only additional measure he announced was reducing housing benefit for people in large houses, which is going to be very tough on poor families living in London. The Tories have not put anything forward at all in this area, so I think the lack of honesty about cuts being specific, that's a major omission in this budget, and I think people will regard the government as fundamentally dishonest. And as far as tax is concerned, I mean, we've been arguing for a very long time about our tax package, the need to lift the threshold to £10,000, lift £3.5 million out of tax altogether, cut taxes for people on average pay by £700 a year. The government isn't doing that. In fact, they're freezing they're freezing tax thresholds, which mean more people will be sucked into tax at the bottom end. It's going the opposite direction from what we suggested. The only tax measure that they announced, which had superficial attraction, was on stamp duty. But the problem is, if you increase stamp duty at the top, it certainly makes it more progressive, but it's very easy to avoid. People put their money and their property into family trusts and avoid paying it. And lifting the threshold at the bottom, while it is will help a few first-time buyers who can't get into the property market, it's not actually providing a single new affordable home.
Great.